Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on Their Fight Story. Today we have a special guest, Steve Domenico. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, Igdalia. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you. How does it feel being on the other side?
It's weird. It's very weird. I haven't had to touch a button yet. Usually I'm touching like 7 buttons before I start an interview. This is like a whole new world. I like this side of the camera. So uh, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on this side and experience it. Not many people reach out to get an interview with me, so I appreciate it.
No, you do a lot. You've been doing this for at least, as if I can recall, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years. Igdalia, I don't know, people don't know exactly our connection together, but I met you at one of the first shows I ever really covered as media, and that was Lion Fight at Foxwoods. And I didn't know anyone. I had a group page, and I was in an elevator, and who was in the elevator with me and goes, "Hey, you're that guy that has that page, Domenico 101. I'm like, how the hell do you know who I am? So from that day on, we've been friends, and we clicked right from there. So you were my first friend in the MMA media world. So I thank you for that. And that was about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that because you were always posting, and I saw you, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think I remembered your name at that, but I knew the page that you were doing because you were doing a lot."
It was mostly UFC stuff too. It wasn't mostly, it wasn't a lot of local stuff. It was more, I was into the UFC and, MMA and anything to do with that. I was going to local shows, but most of my page was about, the UFC and stuff like that. So, and that's how you guys come to know me, because just by posting that, people starting to look at it because they love the UFC, they love MMA. And I was like throwing everything out there all the time.
Yes, you were. I couldn't keep up. I was like, oh my God.
Well, it's part of my nature. I mean, I just can't stop. I got to throw things up. You know what I mean? It pisses a lot of people off. It makes a lot of people not have to go search a bunch of different pages because I have it all on my page. You know what I mean? But it's been fun. It's not work to me. It's fun. I just I produce. That's what I do.
Now I see on your wall. Behind you.
Oh my God, I can't. Now I'm not used to seeing this in Igdalia. When I have people call in, it's like, it's just really my, for my nipples up in green. And so they don't usually see all this stuff behind me. So it looks great. I love that you're seeing all this. This was an article done on at 24/7 Inc. magazine. It's an online magazine. And I met some friends through MMA, and they were trying to get into the New England area as far as MMA and, anything to do with it. And I was kind of their channel into it, and they did an article on me. So they made this great thing for my wall here. And I forget it's there. But probably forever. So it's a great addition. I also have a little pad set in there that I never get to use on my podcast because I always forget it's here. I always forget it's on, and I never touch it. But I do want to incorporate it in my show at one time. But
all right. So listen, do you have your drumsticks with you?
I do have some drumsticks with me.
So give us a free.
It might blow up the speakers, but I'll just I'll play one funk beat, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it.
No practice, but. I never get to do that on the show. How did it sound? Did it blow up your speaker?
Amazing.
Hidden talents coming from the room podcast. So, oh my God, Igdalia, you've got so much information out of me in like 10 minutes that anyone's gotten in like 4 years. They don't know this shit's going on in here. Awesome.
Well, that's the thing. I want people to know who we all are. You've been doing this for 5 years. I mean, when you started with Domenico 101, or no, it was Tap Out, or.
Well, that was my I think that was my email. It might've been my first group page. And then I, you could change names as you go. And I changed it to Domenico 101 MMA. And then I went to Regional Fight Sports because I wanted to join a team and have some backing and, help me do what I was doing, because I was getting into the local scene, the local martial arts. And, Regional Fight Sports with Tom Evans was a great channel to get in and, help out the kids in the youth of MMA, and also, the upper pros and young amateurs. So, Tom Evans, I owe a lot to, because there was a lot of stuff going on back then as far as, my Facebook page is getting shut down. I was a little over the edge when I was like, posting stuff. Or, back then, I thought I was doing favors to people on the internet. They wanted me to stream fights, and, I wanted people, I guess to like me. So, I didn't know there was that much harm in it. So I was streaming like a local fighter's fight, Matt Bassett, he was fought at the Contender. Andre Sukumtai was fighting for the UFC. So back then, I was streaming some of their fights from a bar, and everyone knew me then. So I get like 70 people on my stream, and all of a sudden I'm like shut down. You know what I mean? And then, eventually I lost my pages, and Tom Evans came up and picked me up and let me join Regional Fight Sports. And I was with him a couple of years. And then, Tom's got a lot on his plate with, his charities and, his nonprofit. And now he's a police officer and all that other stuff. So, we branched off. He's still doing his thing. And then I went on my own, and now I'm with NewEnglandMMA.org, which is the best thing that's ever happened to me in the MMA community as far as a team. You know what I mean? Working with people like Travis and Laz. It's been eye-opening, and it's been a very welcoming relief for me to have a team helping out. And we know, those guys, what they've done and what they are going to do, and, the passion they have. So it's a great team right now. I couldn't be better at where I am since I started 5 years ago with you, Igdalia.
Yeah. And the thing is, you messed me up, because sometimes I'll say, I don't even say Steve, I say Domenico, because your thing is reversed and it says Domenico Steve. And I'm like, what the heck? And I draw a blank sometimes, and I'm like, but it's not Domenico, but it is what it is.
Well, growing up, everyone used to call me my last name. Domenico. The reason why it's Domenico on Facebook, because it's like my third page. So I had to change things up. So, I used to be Steven with a PH, and I was Steve. I think I've been Steven Matthew. So I've had like 3 or 4 different Facebook pages. This one is stuck for a couple of years because I haven't gotten so much trouble. You learn in this game, Igdalia, not to push so many buttons anymore. So I'm evolving. I'm growing, I guess. It's taken until I'm in 50 years old or so, but it's happening.
Well, welcome.
Welcome to the steady pace, Steve. Welcome to not causing trouble every other week.
So you have that, but you're also ambassador to the fighters.
Yeah, that was a title that stuck. That was something kind of like a title, because when I came onto the scene, I wanted to represent the fighter. I made it ambassador to the fighters. Like, I wanted to give back, and I think from my start covering New England MMA and the fighters around the area, I think that title has stuck because that's what I do. I try to promote these kids, all of them. I don't know all of them. I don't have time to promote everyone. But when they do come calling, and if they ask me, can you post this? Can you share this? I got this happening. Hey, can I get an interview? I got a fight coming up. Of course, I will never deny anyone, my time. I enjoy it, but there are some fighters I reach out to because they're very accessible. You know what I mean? But my door's open for anyone that wants to call in and talk about their fighting career, the coaching, anything to do with New England MMA. So that's what I'm all about at this point. So that's how the ambassador of the fight is kind of stuck. And it's something I'm kind of not stepping away from, but I'm trying to do more of. New England MMA and the Room podcast is the thing. The ambassador fighters, I might put that hashtag here and there, but it's more about it's New England MMA and, Steve Domenico from the Room podcast now, but ambassador fighters I own, no one's taking that. I built that baby.
Well, that's the thing. What people don't understand is that it's time consuming. First off, you work a full time job.
Yeah.
I think more than a full time job.
Yeah, I work a full-time job and a half. It's kind of what I do. And like I said, I just go. But yeah, that's full-time job and another full-time job right in this room.
Exactly. And, when people see you out at the fights or they see you at weigh-ins and they see you with your, they think, I'm not saying that they don't think, but there's some people that may not take it seriously because they see you with your phone and this, but they don't understand that it takes a lot to do that. Like, I've seen you working and I don't know how you do it, to be honest. I don't, because, like when we would do weigh-ins at Cage Titans, and before I would drive home, and then I was like, I can't drive home right away. Like, I need to sit here and I'm going to be working and I'm not going to leave until the pictures are done, because it takes an hour and a half to get home. So that's an hour and a half that I could have been working, that I could have posted stuff. And then that's what we started doing. We just started sitting at the bar and working, and neither one of us left until we were done. We kept each other company. But what people don't understand is, like, you're there and you're recording, but then you have to break it up, and then you're breaking it up by individual fighter, and then you're breaking it up by an individual, questions that you had with this fighter, or a certain scene that you grabbed, and it takes a lot. Like, it's very stressful. Very stressful. And I was stressed and I wasn't even doing it. I was watching you and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't.
I got like 3 phones out. I'm like clicking stuff here and there, but you're exactly right. It's, there are some people out there that are successful just taking like a live video or, just doing an unedited clip of something, you know what I mean? But, when you're working for a promotion and stuff, you want to add a little more to the video to give, representation of that fighter or the promotion, in case someone shares your video. You want to know where it's coming from, other than just like putting a tag on it in the, description section. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the reason why you and I don't leave is not only because that hour and a half drive, but we get in a flow, a rhythm, and it's something that you start working faster that way. You know what I mean? You get in that flow, and it's the passion. You want to get it done, and you want to enjoy life. You want to enjoy that hour and a half ride home that you finish that job, and now you can think about something else for that ride other than, I got to get home and finish what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like, so let's say weigh-ins are done like around 1:30, 2 o'clock. We don't leave till like 5, 6 o'clock. Yeah. And then we time each other. Let's see how quickly we can get out of here. You know what I mean?
I'm like watching you. I mean, I don't know what the hell you do with the pictures and getting them, like, everything like that, with all you do with the, the photography side of the thing. I'm sure it looks like the same thing on my side. I got like 2 phones out. I'm clipping video. I'm doing this. I'm playing with all these. There's amazing apps on the phone that you can get a lot done, let me tell you. And, a lot of that stuff is already pre-edited that I get put on my phone. And then all I do is, like, once I leave weigh-ins, just like yours is in your laptop, mine is in my phone. And all I do is just upload it right into my computer. And then I enhance the, the interview or the clip or stuff like that if I want to. Sometimes it's already done on the phone. And, that's some of the tricks I've learned. And get things out, as fast as possible, because in this, as we know, in MMA, it's quick. You want to get them results out. You want to get them, those little clips of the fight and stuff like that. Not necessarily the whole fight, but some little action here to get people interested in that fight, and maybe, buy the stream while it's still going on, or maybe, hey, that was a great fight, or, oh my God, I can't believe that clip. These are amateurs, and all of a sudden, you got more fans at that next, promotional event. And these kids are starting to get, holy shit, I remember you. You're the guy that knocked that guy's mouthpiece out, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, after a while, they start learning your name. You get social media, and, that video lasts forever. You know what I mean? That's something that you can always go back to. We didn't have that back, when you and I started, just starting to get into that game, when people like taking video and stuff like that. But before that, no one really did the work. You know what I mean? It was more articles and stuff like that. But you and I now, more you are capturing the life of the fight. You know what I mean? And you're doing it cage side, in the cage. And, the pictures that you take, I mean, these are memories in these kids for a lifetime. So that's something that is achieved in having passion and, being able to work in New England with so many inviting promotions, fighters, coaches, gyms. Man, it's amazing, getting this game. I never thought it would be this easy to have access to the people that we have access to.
All right. Now on that, you said it's that easy. It really isn't. You spent 5 years building this. Let's clarify that for a second. It's 5 years worth of experience, of work that you've put in. It's not anybody can come in and try doing it. But the thing is, are they going to last? Are they really going to have that passion, that fire to do this? Because for a fact that when we started, we didn't get paid. We did it because we loved it, because we love it. We're still doing it because we love it. We don't get paid as much, but the satisfaction of seeing these fighters, see their videos, see their pictures, see their progress, see their journey, it's really rewarding. So it's like, I want you to explain to people, if they want to get into this field, what can they expect?
Never to get paid. You're a different animal here. I mean, you get high as far as you, Igdalia, you have something that's needed as far as, a promotion. They need pictures taken. So, you deserve to get, paid for your time when you're taking them pictures. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this, this film, all that, your equipment. Me, I'm more, now that you do a podcast and interviews, it's going to be, hopefully you get paid down the line, but you know how it is. Now you're starting on your feet doing that, the pay's not there yet. But as far as me, I've never really been paid for anything I've done. I've had a couple of sponsors here and there on the Room podcast, a couple of trades, logo trade for logo trade, you know what I mean? Give me product and, I'll wear your shirt and, stuff like that. As far as anything that I've really ever made money for, was probably when I got into NewEnglandMMA.org, and it wasn't a pay for basically my services. It's a pay, like we sell shirts on the on our site, and we do that, and we get a little percentage of that. Lars and Travis have dug into the managing aspect, and I've invested a little of that as far as money and stuff like that. So down the line that might pay me back, but at this point right now, I, like we said, my job, I work, somewhere to 60, sometimes 70 hours a week at my job. There's certain season, parts of the season, it gets heavier than us. But, a lot of times I work 7 days a week at my regular job. I've been there over 30 years. I get paid a good pay for that. So that has helped me, be able to take chances and stuff like that. Kids that are getting into this game now, it's hard for them because they got to put their own money into it. I'm a successful guy at 50 years old. Some kids are getting into this media game now at 18, 19. It costs money to do this. It costs money to go to fights, even though you might get it free. You got to pay for parking. You got to pay for this. You got to pay for that. So to be at the events, what I say, and to cover this is, simple is better. I mean, you don't need to be extravagant. You need to have a phone. I mean, you could do an interview on your simple phone. You're paying a lot of phone Androids. Man, you could do a whole editing. You do a whole interview just on your phone, just like I have done page side and got it out literally 20 minutes after I did it. All I say is invest in, not Wi-Fi. What is it? Hotspots. If you have a phone, invest in hotspots because you can't rely on people's internet anywhere in promotions, because it sucks a lot of the time. And a lot of times, like, to get the password for that, for the hotspot internet they have, it's a hassle. So get a hotspot, have a couple of phones and, have a party. Learn InShot, learn these little apps on your phone that automatically, chop and add titles and add like pictures into your video or into your pictures itself. You take at fights, you can add your logos. You can do everything like that to build your brand, even starting from scratch. And there's a ton of this happening right now around the country, because everyone thinks there's money in MMA. There's no money in MMA. So that's why you get your passion, people that are doing it as passion, but you get your other side that they think there's money in this. Anyone can tell you there's no money in MMA, especially the fighters. And medias are the last ones that get paid. We get paid with going to the shows and maybe a sponsor down the line. And hey, 1 out of 1,000 of them get to go into MMA Junkie or, these bigger sites like, I don't want to say BJ Penn because they kind of a hacked site, but they do come out with news right off the bat. So we're seeing a lot of these guys and gals that started off like me, making it to the big site, big pages, MMA Junkie. And, I can't think of the other ones. There's too many of them, but they're all over the place now. Me, I haven't really gone anywhere because I'm New England all the way. It's like, I love what I do. I love bringing up the younger youth. And what I say about these kids getting into this media field, pick a lane and stay with it and get great at that lane. And then you can expand. I started with UFC and all MMA. Then I branched into, local MMA, mixed in boxing and Muay Thai. And now, I'm big into jiu-jitsu and grappling tournaments and being able to, interview the fighters after they have a successful tournament match or they win some money. That's my payment at this point. And that's, to me, that's more than enough. If I didn't have a full-time job and making good money on the side, maybe I would push a little more to try to get paid for this. But it's not a priority. The priority is doing what I do and being able to give back to this community. And maybe down the line when I'm gone, these kids and, somebody will remember me. Hey, Domenico, the ambassador, you remember that kid that used to sneak around cages and take film and stream and, that's all I want. You know what I mean?
Oh, believe me, people will remember you. Now they don't have to wait until you you retire or anything like that.
Now, Igdalia, I know a lot of people watch your show and a lot of people know you, but, people might not know me as much. And, I talk a lot. And if I'm interrupting you and I'm not used to this. You know what I mean? I'm not used to talking to myself. So I'm throwing up whatever I can. So, man, this is a pleasure just for you to, get some information out of me and get a little history about, how I started in this. It's awesome, man. I couldn't be happier about being able to talk about, what I'm doing and what I hope to do in the future.
Oh, yeah. It's important. For me, it's very important for people to know where we started, where we plan to go, and how we want to influence other people. It's not, people might see your show and think, oh, it's easy, but you've invested a lot of time and effort. You build your whole studio. You started in a little corner in your house, then you went somewhere else. Now you have what you have. You've had people build you what you have. And that's because you have a passion, you have a dream, and you want to give back. Where that's what people don't understand is we're giving back because we want to give people what we didn't have, what we wanted to see back years ago with our friends and our family that were fighting. We want to be able to show them, hey, this is what's going on. This is, and you're doing an amazing job. People know you. So you're doing great.
Thank you, by the way. And when I started, I came onto the, I came onto the scene a little rough, and because I didn't know the local MMA, and just I thought what I was saying, I thought there was money in MMA. It was these fighters should be paid more, match up. So I came on a little strong and didn't know the game. And that got me a lot of hate and a lot of followers at the same time. What's happening right now is full circle. I had so many people fighters or people that wanted to kick my ass or, oh, when I see you, but Igdalia, just like everyone out there, I'm at every show. I go by myself. If I get punched in the head, I get punched in the head. But I've never been in any fear of anyone, doing anything because it's just talk. You know what I mean? It's just talk and stuff like that. People, they get heated in the moment and they lash out. But once things are thought about. And once they see you in person and know that you're totally not what they're seeing online, and that's the perspective. People think you're exactly what they see online. You know, it's Facebook, it's social media. A lot of people, you know, push buttons, and you know, even though I say a lot of truthful stuff, I do say it sometimes in a, you know, I come across like kind of an asshole here, so it doesn't it doesn't catch everyone's attention in a positive way. But what I'm seeing now, Igdalia, some of these people that really hated me or, you know, wanted to slap me in the head, they're not doing that anymore. They're seeing me at events and they're you know, actually shaking my hand. So I don't go into events anymore, like looking over my shoulder, like, oh, or if someone goes, hey, you're that guy on, you know, you're that dude that has a podcast. So I'm not worried about if I'm going to get, you know, when they say that, I'm like, oh, they're podcast, because, you know, back then it was, oh, you're an asshole dude that like talk all the time online. Now it's like, hey, you're the best dude. So it's like I'm getting that feedback that I've been so thirsty for for the last, you know, since I started the podcast, maybe 3.5, 4 years ago. So it's coming full circle. I still have a lot of people to, you know, convince and sweet talk and get them on my side. But, you know, that's what keeps me going, man. You know, not everyone's going to like you. And, you know, a lot of them haters are the best fans you got, because they're the ones that are always paying attention and talking shit and mentioning your name and tagging you in your stuff and then blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, sometimes I have, you know, I have my, you know, little minions that come out and protect me every so often. You know, it doesn't happen all the time because people don't want to get in the middle of it. You know what I mean? I kind of stir my own shit and I should be able to dig myself out. But sometimes I stir it up and people like really go overboard. And then sometimes my boys or girls step in and say, hey, dudes, motherfuckers, you know, sorry, I'm swearing. I was going to try to keep this PG-13 today, but.
Oh my gosh, you're awesome. Before we conclude,
Okay.
Is there anything that you would like to share?
Just that I'm happy where I am. I'm extremely excited that I'm still part of this and I haven't been forced out or, you know, promotions. You know, I think I've won a lot of people over, and I'm just growing along with New England MMA, Travis, Lars, you, all the promotions around here. The world has opened up again for us as far as local MMA. So, I mean, I'm just riding. I'm just doing my thing, working hard at my other job. You know, I'm going to be there for a long time because my daughter just started college, so I got to pay for that. So, you know, I'll be doing that for a while. I'll be, you know, working and doing this and evolving. And, you know, hopefully down the line, you know, I don't want to call fights because I have so many friends that are fighters. Mm-hmm. I really can't, you know, I would be like Joe Rogan. I mean, he's great at what he does, but it would get to me. But I would like to do, I love interviewing fighters after they win. I love doing the pre-shows, mm-hmm. You know, not that I can break down fights like analytical, but I can give thoughts on the fighters' minds and, you know, their past fights, because I've known these fighters since they had their first amateur fights. And, you know, some of them I've watched since, you know, their first amateur fights until they got to the UFC. You know, so the knowledge in there as far as New England MMA is I think is second to none. I might not be able to throw numbers and names and history amount, but I know a lot of things that people don't know that are very important in this game. And man, you know, I'm looking to share more and do it all, you know, just get bigger, man. Too. I'm looking to, you know, have the like you got the podcast is successful. You're getting great guests on there. You've got a great concept of what you're doing. This is what that's you know, I helped kind of get people to get out there and do this, because I think I've shown how accessible fighters are and how hungry they are to get media attention, because let's face it, they don't get paid much, and they need sponsors, and the more their faces and, you know, anything we could do for them on social media to build their brand, you know, it's helping all of us, because you know, it's farther they go, the farther we go. You know what I mean?
Yes. And with that, would you like to do a little exit on your drums?
All right. Well, come on.
Yeah, come on. That's the way we started the show. We have to end it the same way.
funk drum set up. I should have had my other one set, but I didn't know I was going to do this. But this is just my sound effect drums for the podcast. But I'll try to play another funky beat.